Oh, it's not even on. Where are we? Okay. Nope. So welcome to my new pad. This is Parajarvi, I think. And we just started, it looks like. Okay. I just woke up from an epic piss. A full day of doing nothing, it seems like. Yep, everything's still here. We've done absolutely jack shit. I do it on the lake, actually. Well, I got my uncle's gift from next door, it looks like. Yes, I did. So what do I do? Oh shit, this is on. No, it's not on. Oh, damn it. Alright, so from what I remember about this game, this is the smoothest I've ever seen anybody play this game, honestly. Yeah, everything's all paid for. I didn't go anywhere or buy anything. I didn't even go all the way to Temu's. Do I have to? Yeah, well, if I'm gonna get a filter, some oil. Yeah, I didn't even check the cylinders, or which ones are even good here. Where's the fourth cylinder? No, the first one. Well, looks like we're gonna have to restart. Damn. Permadeath on. You are being born. So for this little portion, I'm just gonna listen to Game Grumps.
Pretty deep pockets
Yes.
on King Graham.
Yes.
Let's see. Go south. So, oh, and this. I mean, there's a real charm. To me, these video games were very, very beautiful considering the graphics limitations at the time. Like these are the stuff that looks like confetti over here, those are flowers.
Oh.
Took me a minute
I
to
was
figure that out.
actually wondering
Yeah.
for myself. I probably knew at the time.
Of course. So you push this rock here. With a heave and a hoe, you manage to move the rock, revealing a dark hole underneath it.
Now I wonder how you knew to push on that rock.
I
Was there a clue? Did you do like look rock or something?
honestly can't
I wonder
remember.
if I would have put a clue there if you had said look rock, like, oh, I might have seen the edge of maybe a hole.
Right. I think I was at the time, like, I was a little kid and I just had so much time, on my hands for anything. So you just
Try everything.
Yeah,
and flip.
interact over and over with everything that stuck out. So then kind of just look in the hole. There's an intricately carved dagger in the hole. So take the dagger. You reach into the hole and grasp the dagger, being careful not to cut yourself. And the thing I always liked was you could then look at the dagger in your possession, and its handle is beautifully carved, and the blade is bronze and very sharp. So
Interesting in that it's bronze
I know.
and not steel.
It's fine.
I don't know what I was thinking at the time.
I'm sure it looks great. As long as it stabs someone, that's all
yeah,
that's
that's
important.
all that really matters.
Although it's such a non-violent game for the most part. But we'll get to all
Well, I
that.
think you can probably. I'm pretty sure you can die in this game. In fact,
Yeah.
I know you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But dying for me, I know there's always been a certain amount of controversy over dying in these games.
sure.
And King's Quest was always, designed and marketed for families, for kids and families, and yet you can die. And so there's always been a little bit talk about, well, if this is for kids and kids can play it in families, well, how come you can die? And honestly, in those days when we were not just in our company, but some of our competitors, dying was kind of ubiquitous. It's just kind of what you did.
Sure.
But dying isn't like dying.
Right,
It's
right.
the way I look at it. It's more like if you play a board game, let's say, and you get a card, you pick a card or something, and it says, oh, you have to go, you're out of the game,
Yeah.
or you just play it badly, and you have to leave the game, and your other people are still playing because you did it bad job or you took a bad card. Well, you're just out of the game.
Right.
You didn't really die. You're just not playing it anymore.
Absolutely. Mario falls off platforms constantly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like a real death.
Yeah, and I think it was good because, well, first of all, like these characters don't look like people, so it wasn't like gore or anything like that.
Like we're very oh no, I died.
Right, and also I thought it was good because like it teaches kids there's consequences
Yeah.
for actions. Like don't go near the cliff.
That's right.
So we are now in the woodcutter's house, and so let's look, man. Whoops. The woodcutter is thin and dressed in rags. Look, woman. The woodcutter's wife is skinny and poorly dressed.
We obviously want you to know they're poor.
Exactly.
And
so
they have holes in their floor.
yes, and they're hungry.
And they're hungry. Oh, they might like that bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This family is so poor they can't even repair the floor. So, give bowl. The woodcutter family is very grateful that you have given them a bowl of stew. Now they will have at least one last meal. As a token of their gratitude, they offer their last earthly possession, the woodcutter's fiddle. And so now, I remember feeling very happy to see their hands move in an excited manner. And talk, man. Welcome to my humble abode. Okay. And so, I guess we just have to go grab the fiddle ourselves.
Yeah, they're
Avoiding the holes.
probably not going to get up and get it for you.
Yeah, not with that stew.
That's too.
Just
And they don't
calling to
even
them.
know at this point that they can refill it.
That's right. That's right.
See, they think it's just for a last meal.
They're in
But
for quite a treat.
yeah, they are, aren't they? A nice surprise.
The fiddle is a beautiful instrument made of polished wood. So take fiddle,
Uh-huh.
and the polished wood feels like satin. It seems to still vibrate from the last song I played. And I think you can play it, right?
I don't know.
You play a lively toe-tapping tune on the fiddle.
Now, see,
oh,
there
there
we
it
go.
is.
I was going to say, this should be a place where we did that.
There it was.
Yeah, there it was. Well, at least we did it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, and that's another thing. Like in 1984, I mean, I remember it. You weren't expecting anything. So if a sound happened, you were like, "Oh my god!" It was like in a Pavlovian experiment when you're a dog and you hear the bell ring. That means you did something good. It's like, all right, fantastic.
I want to do that again.
Absolutely. So now we've got a bunch of good stuff.
Can you do anything with that water?
With the spigot?
With the spigot, yeah, or the
Let's
pump.
see. Look, pump. It is an ancient rusty water pump. Probably doesn't even work. Let's see. Use pump. The rusty pump doesn't work.
Oh, so it's just there as a decoration.
Yeah,
like.
but I guess it also, drives home the point that things are not great
Yeah.
in Woodcutter Town.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Can't we get the axe? I know we can't, but I mean, what?
Oh, sure.
I'm just wondering if you
what happens?
if you say get axe or.
I think
or
it
something.
mentioned that the handle was broken. Let's see. Or
I'm just trying to see what all I
Sure.
did.
The old axe is tightly wedged in the tree stump. You cannot remove it no matter what you do. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Just establishing he's a woodcutter.
Yep.
And
you have to have some of your ornamentations around.
yeah, of course.
And but then you have to make sure, because people are going to want to try to get it, or that you have, figured that out, that you have to have an answer for that.
Absolutely. And I think the fact that you could interact with some things but not others added to the intrigue a little bit, Oh, that's right. Okay. Let me save the game because I can definitely blow it here.
That well looks awfully big in comparison to him.
I know.
We didn't do proportion very well, I guess, in those days.
This is for Aaron because every time he sees a well, he goes, well, well, well. So there's a little shout out to him because I know he would have been happy to do that. Yeah, so this was tricky for me as a kid because, let's see, how did it work? Well, you have to cut the rope with the dagger, and so you're able to take the bucket that way. And then this was a little hidden, but this piece sticking out here, that's a crank from the roof. So
What piece? I'm trying to see it.
if you use crank, you'll see it.
Oh,
Oops. How does that work? How do I? Let's see. Lower rope. The rope descends into the darkness. So,
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that took me a little time, but
Well, that wasn't very good of us to have it up like that.
oh, that's okay. Water under the bridge.
Yeah. Water under the well.
Yeah, exactly. So climb rope, and so this was where I really started to get into this game because I was like, oh my god,
I could go down the well.
Exactly.
Oh, because kids always want to know what's down there in a well.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then
There's water down there. That's what's down there.
and you have to type in swim or else you'll drown. And then let's see, how do I get down here? Oh yeah, so I believe you have to hit dive. Okay, there we go.
What a good swimmer he is.
I know. It's fantastic. That's also quite a large bottle.
Yeah. And a can or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
It looks like this bottle has been here for a very long time. Yeah, I like the can too. It suggests that in King's Quest Land, Coca-Cola exists. Look, dragon. This ferocious fire-breathing dragon with sharp green scales and a long tail is protecting the magic mirror. Watch out for the flames. So if you get a little too close, you die. But because you dove, if you look at the bucket,
You're wet?
yeah, exactly. The old bucket is full of water now.
Uh-huh.
So, oh man, classic parser stuff. You have to type it in advance and then walk over and hit go.
Well, because you can't type it in fast enough for hand-eye, for quick reactions.
Exactly. Although when I tried, it did improve my typing skills tremendously growing up. The water hits the dragon squarely in the mouth, extinguishing its roaring flames. No fire. How mortified and embarrassed the dragon is. Moving a huge boulder and leaving, the dragon creeps off to sulk. I got to tell you, I also loved that because I'm a big dinosaur lover. Yeah, as you can say, yeah. She just pointed around our office where there's tons of dinosaur stuff. So I didn't want to kill the dragon, and the fact that he just got annoyed always made me really happy.
Oh,
So there's our magic mirror, the first of the 3 treasures. So
yep.
look mirror. The magic mirror is framed with ornate mahogany wood, polished to a high sheen. So take the mirror. Carefully, you pick up the magic mirror. All set. So we're doing great.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
a third of the way through.
Look at your inventory.
Sure. I don't understand.
How do you look at what you're carrying?
Great question.
I'm wondering if we did it.
Oh, there it is.
There.
Tab.
Okay.
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 So we've got some stuff.
Four-leaf clover, magic mirror, fiddle, carrot, water bucket, gold egg, and walnut. Okay.
All right.
So that's because I was just wondering how we did that. It's not very aesthetically wonderful, but at least it's there.
Yeah, and I do like that you could look at things and get like a close-up view of them.
Yeah.
The smooth golden egg shines brightly in the sunlight. And I mean, like, it's so it's tough to compare this to
Yeah.
games that came after it because at the time, like, there was nothing like
There
this.
was, that's right.
This was totally
It was
unique.
ahead of its time. Hard to believe looking back at it now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was. It definitely was.
Let's see. How do I enter? There we go. Okay. So now I have to swim way back. And just something about this too, like this design.
Well, one of the things you noticed when you were swimming that you're going behind some of that seaweed.
Yeah, I love that.
And one of the things that I wanted to do was try to get a 3D, have some 3D graphics or a 3D look. And at the time, of course, there's no computer that could do true 3D like we do now.
Sure.
But I still wanted to have a sense of some depth. So you can walk behind. See how he's behind the well?
Yes.
You can walk behind trees, the seaweed, you could swim behind it. So that does give you a little sense of depth to the land. We always kind of called this 2.5D.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
way we referred to it.
It makes sense. And it certainly worked because I think we might have mentioned this when you came and played Colossal Cave with us. When you actually look at this screen, as an adult, you see like a big field of green, you see how it truly looks.
Yeah.
But man, when you were a kid, you saw like the world of Tolkien and the world of Mother Goose in them. It almost was a positive thing in a way because it allowed your imagination to run wild.
Yeah.
Instead of doing all the work for you,
Right.
I think that's another reason why these games meant so much to people.
Yeah, well, it's like for me as a little girl, like I said, we didn't have computers, and I would have loved to have games like this. I mean, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
And so I can understand how you feel because I know that obviously I did this, and I don't think I could have done this without knowing that I would have loved this.
It's the best way to do things. My granddad was an inventor, and I asked him how he came up with some of the stuff that he did, and it was very simple. He said, "Find a need and fill it," and that's kind of what you did. It's you made the game that you wanted to play.
That I wanted to play.
Yeah, how cool.
That I could do it now with computers, but as far as you using your own imagination and fill in the story and around it, or how you want it to look in your mind. It comes from books.
Right.
Because I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Children's books or fairy tales or, whatever type that I would read in, say, grade school or maybe middle school. By high school, I was a little different.
Sure.
I kind of got out of some of that.
You get into other stuff.
Yeah, I got into other stuff. But grade school especially. And I would read Alice in Wonderland, and
my favorite.
Wizard of Oz, and fairy tales and those kind of adventure books.
Yes.
And and I would just picture it all in my mind, and what I imagined was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
it was
question.
beautiful.
The same world, and and here's a goat. So we grabbed a little pouch out of the stump, which is filled with diamonds. Look, goat. The goat is wandering this way and that. This was also the second appearance of a goat in your games, because the Black Cauldron had
Yes,
Taran.
That's right.
Because he was a pig farmer.
God, I forgot about Black Cauldron.
I freaking love Black Cauldron. We played that on the show as well.
that was a good one. I worked with Disney on that.
That's amazing, because it's so funny too, because Disney, that is probably the least loved Disney movie out there. They don't like to, because it's so dark. I mean, John Hurt's skeleton characters bringing the undead corpses to life for his
I wonder
army.
how would it do. That was then though, when it first came out. Does anybody watch it now?
I mean, I'll watch it all the time.
You do?
Yeah, I
Would you
bet
think
it
it'd do better in today's world than when it actually?
I think it would,
came
just
out?
because kids are more desensitized with
Yeah,
the internet. They
that's
see
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and plus, like, well, there's two things real quick. One was that they had all kinds of internal problems at Disney with that one, and they ended up cutting 15 minutes out of the movie, which apparently were critical to the plot, making sense.
I wonder what it was.
I don't know, but you do see in certain scenes, like, wow.
I wonder if I put it in the game.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
The other thing is that there's no songs in it. I think it's the only Disney movie without music, and
I think that's correct.
That was a real sticking point
Yeah.
for people. But I don't know if you've ever read the Chronicles of Prydain, the books that they were based off of.
No.
But they are phenomenal. They're they're for young adults, but like just
So they maybe
beautiful.
thought that this would be for older kids.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I think that was the idea, but it almost bankrupted Disney.
Yeah, it was interesting working with them, and because they would send their people up to Oakhurst, where our company was located in Central California, up in the mountains. Sierra Nevada is where our company got the name of Sierra.
Right.
But they would maybe once a month they would send a team of people up to Oakhurst to meet with me.
Wow.
And they gave me all the scripts, to the movie and all kinds of backstory stuff and pictures and graphics and scripts and everything like that. And they wanted to make sure that I completely understood it. And I said, well, I understand, and so I started designing it. And there was a time when, and we started programming it and doing the art for it. And there was a time when they came up and I this is kind of a real funny, and maybe this is one of these I shouldn't say, but why not? I'll do it anyway.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah. So they came up. It was probably a team of maybe 6 of them, and I'm not sure now what role they played. But one guy was pretty senior in Disney movies and cartoons, and so they were watching the game as we were putting it together, and they were going, I don't know about how you're doing this, Roberta. We don't know that you disagree. We're agreeing with you because you're not following the storyline.
Interesting.
And I said, well, I am following it, but you have to realize this is not a movie.
Right.
This is a game.
Right.
And they looked at me like, well, we know that. We know it's a game, but how are they going to know what the story is?
Right.
And I said, well, they will. But they said, well, you just, we just don't know that we can let you just do what you want with our story.
Sure.
And I said, well, you have to understand, with these games, you have to let people explore.
Right.
That's what it's all about. I can pull the player back to the story. I know how to do that, but you got to give them some exploration and let them make some wrong choices.
Yes.
you know, and then they said, well, and then he dies. He doesn't die in the movie. And I said, well, but this is a game.
Yes, yes.
And we went on like this, and they were getting frustrated, and I was getting frustrated, and I went into Ken. We were in the conference room in Oakhurst, and I went into Ken's office. I said, excuse me for a few minutes. And I went into Ken's office. That's my husband, running the company. And I sat down in front of his desk and I said, I am not working with Disney.
You were not the first or the last person to say those words.
I am not working. They want to tell me how to design a game.
Right.
And I cannot go through that. They want me to change this back to be just linear. You just follow the script just the way it. And I said, I don't work that way.
Right.
And I'm quitting. I'm going to quit.
No kidding.
He said, sit there. I'll be back. So he went into the other room.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back in after a while and he said, okay, you can go back in the conference room. And I went back in and they said, all right, Roberta, we'll let you do it your way.
No kidding.
No kidding at all.
I wonder what he said.
I stood up to Disney. I must have been one of the few people in the world that stood up to Disney.
And I'm glad you did, because I think,
meant it, though. I wasn't negotiating.
No, and I in a way, I wish Lloyd Alexander, the writer of the books, had stood up to them a little more, because they certainly left out a lot of beautiful parts of his story. But, you know, again, it is what it is. The things that it led to were wonderful, because, sorry, while we were chatting, I showed the goat the carrot.
Okay.
So now he's my buddy, and
following you.
and now we can cross the bridge.
Yeah.
Because there is a troll. As you start to cross the bridge, a wretched troll appears. It is a well-known fact that goats hate trolls intensely. And that's where I learned that.
Now you know.
Exactly. You should move aside and let the goat take care of this nasty troll. The goat butts the troll right off the bridge, never to be seen in these parts again.
Now, you know, in the game Colossal Cave, which I just completed not long ago, the same thing happens. There's a troll bridge.
Right.
But there's not a goat. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's another animal that may help you in this situation.
Oh, cool.
Same kind of situation.
It's special how animals were treated in these games, because, you know, there's such solitary quests, and then all of a sudden you have like a friend with you for a little while. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And in a way, Gurgi was like that in the Black Cauldron. You know, he was your little crunchings and munchings friend. I love that guy.
Yeah. I guess forgot about that, but that was a kind of an interesting story about Disney.
That is amazing.
I you know, looking back on it now and telling the story, I feel like I must have been really full of myself to some extent.
You know,
but I can't. You know, I think I kind of was back then.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being passionate about what you're doing and having
well, I knew they were
it.
wrong.
Yeah.
And you know and I still know that. But the interesting thing is, the movie didn't do very well, but the game did.
Yeah,
the game did fine.
Absolutely.
It did great.
And it led to all these other games. And that's still my favorite Disney movie. John Hurt's performance is fantastic in it. He's
go back and check out that movie again.
He's one of my favorite actors. Because I loved him from The Elephant Man, which I watched later. I did not watch that as a kid.
Is he still around?
No, he died, I think, in 2017, 2018, something like that.
So he was a great actor.
Oh my God,
yeah,
Alien, and he really he was something special. This house, by the way, which I loved the look of, because this really beautiful.
This one turned out really well.
Yeah, for its time, it's a very charming looking house. And so you're not supposed to knock on the door. This is a gingerbread house. So with trial and error, I learned that you should eat the house. As you begin to eat
did I say that it was a gingerbread house?
If you look at it.
Oh, okay. If you didn't look at it.
Exactly.
Then, okay. Yeah.
As you begin to eat the house, a squeaky voice from somewhere says, "Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling at my house?" So that means that the witch is home, and you do not want to go
And that,
in.
I believe, that quotation is from an old fairy tale.
Is that right?
I think so.
That's cool.
I think it was.
It has that feeling to it.
Yeah.
So you got to try to eat the house again. Oh, nope. And you just sort of keep going back and forth until you get, I think the message is like, "Yum, this house is good." Excuse me. And that means she's clear. Yeah, okay. The house tastes even better than it looks. So then you can open the door and head inside. And now you're in a witch's house, which is quite modern, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks very contemporary. It doesn't look at all like the outside.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think maybe I should have paid more attention to the interior of it.
That's okay. I didn't ask any questions. So you open the cabinet, and there's some cheese there.
I was going to say it looks like cheese.
Sitting on the shelf is a delicious piece of Swiss cheese. So, off in the distance, you hear a high squeaky voice say, "I can smell someone tasty in my house." So that means quickly we must take the cheese. You pluck the Swiss cheese from the shelf, close cabinet, and head over to this part of the house where the witch, when she enters, she won't see you. And this also made me feel good as a kid because I felt very safe, you know? I'm over in the safe part. The witch mutters, "I'm going to get my oven ready to cook someone for dinner." Yum.
Someone.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, she's not that cool.
No.
Look note.
What is she doing?
It is written. It is written in a familiar language. Okay. Read note. Oh, okay.
Oh, you have to get it.
Yes.
Take note.
You grab the note from the table. Read note. The note reads, "Sometimes it is wise to think backwards." Okay. We'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I will save my game because, yeah, this witch.
Coming into dangerous territory now.
This witch has killed me so many times in my life. Witch, not cool. Okay, cool. I'm not the best at naming games. All right, let's see here. So I used to think, because of the palette limitations, you know, King Graham kind of blends in with the floor. I used to think maybe she'll think I'm camouflaged, but no such luck.
No, because you got some clothes on you that
Exactly.
is blue and red.
So push witch, because she is in front of her oven right now. The witch says, "Oops, okay, I apparently took too much time." The witch says, "My oven is now the perfect temperature. It is time to invite someone for dinner." Cackle, cackle. Rats. She has cast some spell to keep you from escaping. The witch remarks, "Oh, how nice of you to come for dinner." Okay, so
Are you going to die now?
I am unfortunately going to die.
Okay, well, we'll watch you.
Cool. She
Yeah.
pokes and pinches you, then states, "This one is too scrawny, so it's into the cage until you fatten up." Smack. Yum. Oh, okay. I don't know how to
Can you escape?
get out of here.
I don't remember.
I'm just going to load the game. Whoop. With a flash, you hear her joyously exclaim, "This thing has made me feel like I'm flying." I don't... Oh, okay. I'm finished.
Doing so, okay.
We at Sierra wish to thank you for
You
playing
can't
Kids
get
Quest.
out of there, it
Yeah,
looks like.
we're pleased to
Yeah.
see that you're doing so well and hope your score will keep improving. That was a very nice thing for you to say.
Yeah, so now you have to hurry up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so load game. Oh. Restore game. Okay. All right. I won't waste any time. This is the other good thing about moving slowly throughout this game. It gives
Yeah.
me a chance to...
Well, it was interesting for me because here I could put a timing puzzle in. You've got to get there quickly.
Exactly.
You know, so
Courageously, you manage to push the witch into the oven, where she flashes and melts away into a harmless blob. Congratulations!
Yay.
Oh, mazel tov.
okay.
Okay, so the witch is dead, which is great. I can't remember if I was supposed to do something. Look oven. It is an old wood stove and very hot. The fire must have been burning for some time. No, I guess we just needed to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, why not? She's a witch.
Yeah.
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 You know? Do you know what fairy tale this scenario is from?
Hansel and Gretel?
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Of course.
yeah.
Of course.
Which scared the holy hell out of me as a kid.
Because that's the way they dealt with the witch.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I think
right.
I think it was Gretel that did it. But I could be wrong.
Man, she's great.
I could maybe be wrong.
And
that maybe she had Hansel in a little cage or something, and
Oh,
Gretel pushed her. One of the kids.
So you worked the cage in there too?
Yeah.
How cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because those fairy tales really, the purpose of them was to teach kids, don't talk to strangers, don't be tempted by...
The fairy tales, these old fairy tales, some of them were very violent.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder about them. You think, that's not, I mean, that seems like a horrible story. If you actually put it as a movie, you could some of these you could almost say it was almost like a horror movie or something.
Yes.
If you were to do that. But when you're reading it as a fairy tale, though, it doesn't really come across that way.
No.
But yet in reality is kind of a violent thing.
Yeah, you see how The Little Mermaid's a perfect example. A lot of times Alice in Wonderland's another one.
Yep.
When Disney would get their hands on something, they would really sanitize it. But oh man, you read the originals and you're like, oh, that's not how that worked out.
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
recall.
Yeah.
High up in the sky, you see a very large, friendly bird, which is also nice because this reminded me.
It looks like an eagle to me.
I was gonna say it reminded me of the Gwithaints from the Black Cauldron game, which would grab you and it was not a good outcome. But this guy's here to help.
So it looks like you have to get right under him and have him grab you in just a certain spot.
Exactly. I think I have to jump when he comes down, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Come on, buddy. I remember you had to watch the pattern of where
he goes.
Yeah. It's so funny to breeze through this game when I can count days of my life dedicated to finding each and everything in this game. Okay, I thought he would come down this way, but maybe I'll give it one more chance. There we go. There we go.
Did you jump?
I did.
Oh,
I hit jump.
Okay.
Where could this giant bird be taking you? This is always relaxing.
Is this Cloudland?
Yeah, I know. Look, bird. Now is not a good time to bother the bird. Great point.
That is true.
Yeah.
He's busy. Okay, we were out of Cloudland. Isn't there a Cloudland in this?
That is later when we climb the beanstalk.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Beanstalk. Yeah, where else have I seen that in a game?
Yeah. Ouch.
Oh.
Okay, we're fine.
That wasn't very nice,
No,
the way he dropped you.
For a big friendly bird, I didn't have the best of times with him.
Well, you didn't die.
Exactly.
You're okay.
You know what? That's how I'm going to save this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oops. I didn't die. Great. Okay, so we're doing pretty well. We're actually 2/3 of the way through, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, not bad. So I believe, let's see.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can get through it fairly quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think in real time, I started playing this when I was maybe 7 or 8, and it took me about 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
To get through it?
Well, sure, because my parents didn't want to spring for the hint book.
Oh.
So
really? You think it was that hard, huh?
I think so. Well, if you got hung up, unless you had a friend that knew how to do it, there was no internet,
That's true.
Yeah, so you just kind of
But we did do a hint book. And you could have called
Yes,
Sierra.
I did call the hint line once or twice.
Yes.
And then my parents saw the long distance charges and they were like, you know what? Figure this out on your own, buddy.
Okay.
The mushroom is large and aromatic. Okay, so we're going to take this big mushroom. You reach down and pick a fat mushroom. Great. So.
I wonder what the mushroom is. It like a. Well, we'll find out.
Yes.
Will it make you larger or
smaller?
smaller?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Wonder what that came from.
Oh man,
That would have been Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites.
Uh-huh.
And so here's a hole that it's actually good to fall into. So that's a plus.
Yep.
And let's see. I forget what's down here.
Actually, you know, it's funny watching this, because sometimes I'll look at these old games and I'll go, "Oh God, I can't believe what they look like back in the back then." But now, just sitting here with you and just kind of quietly going through it,
It's
I'm actually kind of proud of it.
I know you should be. You absolutely should be.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of charm to it.
It does have charm to it.
That's still intact.
I cannot believe that. But yeah, it does.
Oops. Fortunately, this rat won't get any closer to me than right here. So if I give him the cheese, the rat drools at the sight of the cheese and snatches it from your hand. You might want to count your fingers. So there he goes. The rat scrambles to the wall and seems to magically merge with it. So again, there's another chance where like maybe another game would have had you kill the rat or do something, but you just give it some cheese.
Most
and
of it is pretty good.
I
For kids.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And even the dying is fun. Is kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
And actually, we haven't seen a lot of dying.
No.
Oh, well, that's because you know what to do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're avoiding it.
The leprechauns revere the power of the four-leaf clover. With it in your possession, they will leave you absolutely alone. So that I had grabbed that four-leaf clover earlier, but
Yeah.
I think they kill you
If you don't have
if
it.
you don't have it. Yeah.
Oh.
Which, because my only other exposure to leprechauns at the time was the guy from the Lucky Charms box, and I could not believe he would betray me in such a manner.
Oh.
So let's see. You go down here.
Oh, there's more.
There's a ton of them.
But they leave you alone now.
Yes, I guess that's the sound of leprechaun chatter. Play fiddle. You find playing the fiddle here very fun, but the dance floor is in the other room. Okay.
Because they're Irish.
Yeah. Was that the reason?
Yeah. Well.
I never put that together.
Well, because the Irish, they have their fiddle playing.
They love it. Yeah.
They love to play the fiddle.
I've seen River Dance.
Yeah.
Leprechauns love fiddle music.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen such frenzied dancing?
Yeah. See, my mom is Irish.
Oh,
And,
cool.
pretty much Irish all the way. And I wrote a book about it on my mom's side, Farewell to Tara, which is out there at Amazon.
No kidding.
If anybody wants.
When is that from?
When I wrote it?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I did. It's a whole story, in and of itself, but it's out there.
That's cool.
Actually, I meant to make it like a 3-part like trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But I only have the first one. I have to write the others.
Don't worry, George Martin has been working on Game of Thrones book 6 for like 10 years. It's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, my mom's grandfather was and they were all Irish in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't, they came from Ireland, but my mom's grandfather. Was he born in Iowa? Well, anyway, he was a champion fiddle player in Iowa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he was the best Irish fiddle player in Iowa at the time.
And you worked it into the game? Or did that
I
provide
must have.
inspiration, perhaps?
I knew that he was a fiddle player. I knew that Irish music, in cartoons, you see Irish people with their fiddle.
Sure.
And they're dancing. Think about like the movie Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're dancing on the table and everything, and you see fiddle players. They're Irish.
And
they're dancing.
I just
That's
saw
what
that movie
do.
for the first time, like a couple of months ago.
Titanic?
Titanic, yeah.
Oh.
I somehow, because I was 18 when it came out, and everyone was seeing it like 5 times in the theater. And I have this weird thing where like, if everyone in the world is into something, I'm not into it. Yeah. So it took me, I guess, like
That's funny.
30 years to see it, but man, it was a sob fest.
So you liked it
I
when you
loved it.
finally saw it.
It was outstanding.
And now
yeah.
you know why people see it over and over again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't watch it. I'm going to need a year.
Yeah, yeah. But when they were up there dancing, on the
part.
down in the hold of the ship, that's what Irish people, they're into dancing and fiddle playing, and they're very fun people actually.
I could watch that scene.
And they're storytellers. I mean, Irish people are known to be storytellers.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I got some of my my tendency for storytelling and writing from my mom's side of the family.
Oh, that's cool.
They're all very Irish.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood, I think.
So the king leprechaun, now that his friends left, has no desire to hang around.
Goodbye.
So there's the shield. Did I spell that wrong? Yeah.
There you go.
It is made of titanium and is rimmed with jewels. Take shield. So now we've got two of
the treasures.
Yes. Take the magic shield and carefully put it in your pocket. Thank God for those Levi's jeans.
No, I think maybe they're more like cargo pants with the extra pockets.
Exactly. Eagerly, you pick up the scepter. So now I've got a scepter, which also good. And now.
See, if I had to do this over again, I would have made sure he had like a knapsack on his back.
Oh, sure.
You know, something like that. You know, but in those days.
Nobody even questioned it.
No, they didn't question. Yeah, well, you have your inventory. You know. That's
sure.
It.
And this was another moment. This is a classic moment where if you don't do this correctly, you've just blown it completely. You have to eat the mushroom.
Uh-huh.
As soon as you swallow the first bite, you have this strange shrinking feeling. It's true. You are now no bigger than a mouse. But it only lasts a short time. So if you don't get out of here, you feel
stretching
a strange
sensation.
Oh, you're back to your original size. So wonderful. But if I didn't do that, I can't remember if I have to go all the way. Oh, no.
It's so funny because
you're just stranded.
In Colossal Cave, where you get sent somewhere by magic in the cave, I wrote, you feel a pulling sensation. Just like that. You feel a pulling sensation.
You've come so far.
Here's a stretching sensation.
It is funny to look back. It's like looking back at old journal entries of yourself almost, you know?
Well, and how things are somewhat repeated, you know, especially if the same person is working on another game.
Sure.
You borrow a lot. You borrow a lot more than you think.
Well, you see your own interests.
I mean, I borrowed when I did Phantasmagoria. I borrowed a lot from Mystery House, and with Laura Bow, The Colonel's Bequest, I borrowed from Mystery House, and then so Phantasmagoria, I borrowed from both Mystery House and The Colonel's Bequest for the house. There's a lot of continuity between the old house in Phantasmagoria and the house in Colonel's Bequest and the Mystery House house.
Yes.
So you borrow, and you know, and just you're not remaking it, but you're taking something that already works well.
Yeah.
And do, you know, and enhance it, or
it's a little bit like how they, you know, they say that sometimes algorithms know you better than you know yourself a little bit. It just being able to look objectively at something you did a while back, you realize like, oh, I guess I must really be into this idea. There's something appealing about this. Let's see. I just grabbed some pebbles off the beach. And then I should say, it's only because I know this game so well. This world is much bigger than I'm showing.
Than you're showing.
Game. Yeah, because I'm only going to the right spots. But
right.
The world really has a lot of different places to explore that are just essentially building the place. Wandering on the banks of the lake, you see a cute little elf. Hello, friend. So let's talk to him.
Cute little elf.
Yeah. You are too far away. Which is good.
But he keeps walking around, so you have to follow him.
It's funny how the elf is cute, but leprechauns will kill you. You walk a fine line in this adventuring business.
Well, I always thought elves were more or less nice.
Cool.
And cute.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least the Keebler ones.
Yeah.
The elf, impressed by your friendliness, gives you a magic ring. Kind person, know that once, only once, this ring will make you invisible, he says, and then disappears. Well, that's
only once.
Yeah, that's a nice elf right there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Why would he think that you would want that?
I know. I guess I always assumed that he could just, like, elves just could pick up on people's vibes, and he knew you were like
or
trying to do
he had
the
a
right
whole
thing.
series of rings.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah.
want a ring?
Or maybe he's a hustler. Hard to say, truly. So the other thing that made it easy on me as a kid was you need to wear this ring pretty much right away.
Are you wearing it? Did you say wear ring?
Not quite yet.
Oh.
But yeah, it's
Oh, it's a timing thing.
I'm not positive if it is, but I think.
See, I forgot this game, so.
No, you know what? I think you're right. I think I did that wrong. I think I did need to wear it immediately. Let's see.
Did you save your game?
Yeah, good point. No, I think if I wear it now, it's okay. Let's see. You slip the beautiful ring on one of your fingers. Okay, yeah, because it's not activated until
you do it.
Yes, exactly.
But then you only have a short time.
Yes.
To use it. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. So we can cross the bridge because the troll is dead, thanks to our friend the goat. Okay.
And now we have a gnome.
Yes, a crotchety old gnome pacing around his lean-to. I learned what a lean-to is as a result of this game. That was helpful for me. And talk gnome. The old gnome tells you he has something that may be very useful to you. Your task is to guess his name in 3 guesses, and his gift will be yours. Good luck. What is your first guess? Okay, so this, full disclosure, this was one I had to call Sierra for.
Okay.
Because this one was impossible. So that's Rumpelstiltskin, as I've learned. And I thought that I typed in Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, this one because I did the parsing, all the words that you have to type in.
Yes.
I had to go through the entire game and try to figure out what are people wanting to type in.
Sure.
What do they want to type in, and try to get all that there. But then I also did some synonyms.
Yes.
So you didn't have to type in just the exact word. It could be a synonym or something very close to it. So I tried to be very good about that. In this case, with Rumpelstiltskin, I had it where there were 2 ways to type it in. I think it was you could do Rumpelstiltskin or Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, yeah.
I think I put in both, but then you had to do it backwards.
Exactly.
But still.
That was the thing that confused me, because I tried to do it backwards, and that didn't work either. There are 2 different ways. I think if you say that, he'll give you a key. There's 2 different ways to do it, but essentially the very right way to do it was to reverse the alphabet and then type in Rumpelstiltskin with the letters that correspond.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just have such a clear memory of talking to someone at Sierra as they very patiently explained.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
we have it written down.
Now that you said that, I wanted to be very tricky on that one.
That was a good one.
And it was a hard name anyway.
That one rocked my socks when I was a kid.
But that is from from the story of Rumpelstiltskin that I think, trying to remember stuff, that whoever the main character was, I don't know if it was a princess or a prince. Usually these fairy tales, the main character is either a princess or a prince.
Right, of course.
Or somebody that wants to marry one.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it was I think it was like a prince or something, and he gets thrown into a shed, and with some golden hay, something about golden hay, but he couldn't get out until by this gnome until you knew his name.
Yeah.
And you had to tell him in the fairy tale what his name was, and then he would let you out. So that's where this idea came from.
Full disclosure, after I got this correct, after the person at Sierra had told me, I got this screen, which was, that's right, you've guessed it. Here's some magic beans for your outstanding accomplishment. And I was so proud at the wording that I called my parents in and showed them, look, I had an outstanding accomplishment.
I must be really good.
Yeah, so so I did win some brownie points with my parents, I guess. They thought they had a gifted kid on their hands.
Because it said so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, the game, it knows. So we take the beans, being careful that you get every one of them, you place the beans in your pocket. Okay, so this is where the game got really tough. For that reason, Oh, I want to go
You had to find the place
east.
to plant them.
Yes, you had to find the place to plant them,
Yeah.
and also the beanstalk itself was quite something to get up.
Okay, yeah.
You're probably going to see a lot of falling. Whoops.
Uh-huh.
But that's okay. We persevere,
Uh-huh.
and it was amazingly cool to go to create the beanstalk and go up into the cloud world, because
Yeah.
it felt
Well, for kids, you wanted, what is up there?
exactly.
That's a place you can never get to, is up higher and in the sky.
Mm-hmm. The beans immediately sprout roots that reach deep into the fertile soil. Leaves unfold themselves to the warm, loving sun. A rumbling is felt, and a mighty beanstalk now stretches up into the sky.
How did you know that that is the spot to do it?
I remember walking around, and I think it was my mom that said, like, maybe a dirt patch would be the place to plant beans. And
There's not many dirt patches.
yeah, this was the biggest one.
The biggest
that was
one.
close by. I mean, the other answer is I probably walked around every screen.
And tried everywhere.
Yeah, touch it, hitting plant beans a
Plant
thousand
bean,
times.
nope. Plant bean, nope.
Let's save game. So the best way to do this is to go back and forth with 2 saved games. So there's Beanstalk 1. Climb Beanstalk.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
So far, so good.
Yep.
That was still close enough to the ground where it doesn't kill you. Okay, climb Beanstalk. Okay,
Yeah, I think the goal is try to stay as much in the middle as you can.
yes.
Not to go too far either way.
So now we'll save game Beanstalk 2
Uh-huh.
and then just go back and forth saving,
Yep.
because the worst thing you could do would be to like start falling and then accidentally save your game as you were falling.
Oh.
And then, yeah, and then like you had many horror stories of having to start the game over. Whoops, there
Oh.
goes one. Will this kill me? I think this might kill me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that didn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're fine. I love the funeral march too. Okay, Beanstalk 2. Let's try up here, up here. Oops! Wow, boy, that is
Oh,
tough.
that's tricky.
Yeah. So there's going to be some of this. I apologize.
That's okay.
I wish I had oops. Let's see. Is there restore game is F7. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, let's
Huh.
see if okay. I will try. I will just go really savvy with it.
Yeah. Don't mind me. Just
Don't try to be a hero.
take your time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll just do a little of that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to go over to that right there.
For sure.
You've been doing that and falling each time. So don't go over there.
Okay.
Not quite yet. Do a little more.
A little more?
Now to the right.
Okay. I'm going to
Little
save
bit.
it just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh.
Good call.
Ah.
Let's do was it Beanstalk? Okay, yeah. So just keep going up straight.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, now I know how high I can go.
Yes.
This is how we'll do it.
Go up till right there.
Okay. Save it again. Save that as Beanstalk 1. And then shift over. Okay. Save it again. Boy, this really brings me back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then let's see how high we can go. Okay, that's amazing. We'll just
Yeah, it's good to do that. Do it this way.
yeah.
Take your time.
Okay. Let's see how high it'll let me go. Okay.
Oop,
right.
Not much.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's. Is there another? I can't remember if there's another
Another screen?
round of Beanstalk
I don't
after
know.
this. It's